Ever walk away from a conversation and you just feel like someone hit the low battery button on your soul?
Oh, tell me about it.
It's like you're not physically tired, but
Drained.
drained. Yeah, like all your energy's gone.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking about with this article I read on, gets this, emotional vampires.
Ooh.
Yeah, emotional vampires. They're like the energy vampires of, people.
Right, right.
And it got me thinking, are they really as bad as, fictional vampires? This article claims they're worse.
Well, they're definitely more insidious because, you don't see the fangs coming. You have to worry about garlic.
No garlic. Okay, so no garlic needed. But with these emotional vampires, how can someone who isn't sucking actual blood be that bad?
Because they feast on something much more vital. Your energy. Your spirit.
Ooh, okay.
And it's not a quick bite either. It can be this slow, subtle drain until you're running on fumes.
It's true. It's true. And you can't always pinpoint what it was.
Why?
You just know you feel totally drained after. This article I read, it talks about 8 tactics they use. 8.
Wow.
Yeah, some of them are really sneaky. Like, have you ever felt frozen in a conversation?
Oh, yeah.
Where you just can't even think straight?
Like a deer in headlights.
Yes. Like a deer in headlights. And this wave of anxiety just washes over you.
It's immobilization. Is that one of their tactics?
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's like they're actually doing something to us.
They are. It might not be conscious,
Right.
but it's definitely a way to kind of throw you off balance.
Wow. So they throw us off balance, and then what? What's their next move?
Often it's competitiveness.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Because they need to be the center of attention. You share success, and suddenly they have to top it.
Ugh. Yes. It's like they can't stand to hear you talk about something good.
Exactly.
Because they always have to one-up you.
They always have something better.
Yeah, it's so frustrating.
It is. It leaves you feeling like your experiences don't matter.
Yes. Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. Speaking of the worst, this next one, disorientation.
Yes, the art of confusion.
Okay, so is this like full-on gaslighting? Because that's messed up.
It can be. Imagine this. You're having a conversation, and they're saying something that you know is wrong. But they say it with such conviction, you start to doubt yourself.
Oh my gosh, you're like, wait, maybe I heard wrong. Or maybe they're twisting your words, making it sound negative when you meant it positive.
Absolutely. And by the end of the conversation, you're just confused.
Yes. And you don't even trust your own memory. That's crazy.
Because they become the holder of the truth.
Wow. It's like, whoa, what just happened to my brain?
Right. And that's exactly what they want. It gives them a sense of control.
Okay, so we've got them like trapping us in these mental headlocks, battling us in this competition, messing with our minds. What's next?
Get ready for the negativity train, because next up is criticism.
Oh, boy.
And I'm not talking about the constructive kind. This is the kind designed to cut you down.
So not needs improvement, more like you're always messing things up.
That's it. Backhanded compliments, focusing on the flaws, always finding something negative.
Ugh, it's like they can't stand to see you happy or, proud of yourself.
Exactly.
And they try to bring you down. It's awful.
It is.
It's like, remember that time I told you about when I finally finished writing my book? I was so proud of myself, and I showed it to a friend, and all they could say was, wow, you actually finished a whole book. That's surprising.
Ouch.
Yeah, talk about a deflating moment.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're going for. They want to leave you feeling unsure of yourself,
Right.
questioning your abilities.
Okay, so we've got the mental headlocks, the competition, messing with our minds, the criticism.
Yeah.
What else is there?
Get ready for the woe is me routine.
Oh, no.
Playing the victim.
Ah, yes. The master of making themselves the stray of every tragedy.
Exactly. Nothing is ever their fault.
Right.
They're always misunderstood. Always hard done by.
And if you offer a solution,
There's always a but.
always a but.
That somehow brings the blame back to
Oh,
you.
it's so frustrating.
There's a constant loop of negativity.
Okay, so we've got immobilization, competition, disorientation, criticism, playing the victim. Anything else? Because I'm ready to pull out my emotional shield if there is.
Well, get ready to reinforce that shield, because next up is entitlement.
Oh, boy.
This is where they really believe the world revolves around them.
Oh, yeah.
They think they deserve special treatment. They expect you to cater to their needs.
Right, and they don't even have to ask, right?
They don't.
It's just a given.
Exactly.
Because they're,
so special.
they're so special. Oh, my.
But-
Okay, so how do we deal with that? Because, I mean, some of this other stuff, maybe you can kind of let it roll off your back, but
This one's harder because if you challenge them,
ooh,
they get really defensive.
right. So what do we do?
That's where those boundaries come in.
Okay, so we need to set some serious boundaries with these emotional vampires.
You do, but we're not quite done yet because there are a couple of other tactics that are lumped into this last category.
Aye. Lay it on me. What's left?
We talked about gaslighting,
Right.
but there's also triangulation.
Triangulation. What's that? That sounds complicated.
It can be. Imagine this. Instead of, talking to you directly about a problem they have, they rope in somebody else.
Oh, so they're bringing in backup to
Exactly.
fight their emotional battles.
Yes. And usually they're painting themselves as the victim to this third person.
Oh, so it's all one big drama triangle.
Exactly. It's exhausting.
It sounds exhausting. Ugh, it's exhausting just thinking about it. Okay, so we spent a lot of time talking about how to spot these emotional vampires, but what do we do about them? Like, do we need to wear garlic?
Well, there's no garlic for this kind of vampire.
Okay, too bad. So no magical repellent. What then? What's our defense?
Awareness is a big one.
Okay, so we know what to look for. Then what?
Then you can start setting boundaries.
Boundaries. Okay, so like invisible fences for these energy vampires. But how do you actually set those boundaries, especially when they're so good at like sucking you in?
It takes practice. It literally does. Start by noticing what drains you.
Okay, so like pay attention to how you're feeling when you're with them.
Exactly. What are the specific behaviors that set you off?
Hey, Ben.
Then you tell them, calmly but assertively, this isn't okay.
Oh, so you have to actually say something.
Sometimes you just need to end the conversation or limit your contact.
So you're saying we don't have to put up with it. We can
No.
actually just like step away from the emotional buffet table.
Exactly.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Because I was starting to worry I needed like a whole emotional hazmat suit just to get through the day.
This has been really eye-opening, and before we wrap up, I want to go back to something the article mentioned. It said that a lot of times, these emotional vampires, they don't even realize what they're doing.
It's true. It's not always intentional. They're so caught up in their own stuff.
Wow, so they're like emotional bulldozers in a china shop?
Sometime.
Mhm.
Which is why self-awareness is so important. We have to ask ourselves, are we the emotional vampire?
Ooh, good point. We all need to check ourselves.
We do. It's about being mindful of our own behavior, too. How do we make other people feel?
That's a great question to ask ourselves. Do we leave people feeling energized, or do they suddenly need a nap?
Exactly.
Okay, so as we go about our day today, let's all pay attention, not just to how other people are making us feel, but to how we're making them feel. We can all do our part to create a more positive, emotionally supportive world out there.
All right, everyone, that's it for this deep dive into the world of emotional vampires. Remember, knowledge is power, boundaries are your friend, and you deserve to have people in your life who leave you feeling energized and ready to take on the world. So go out there and build those positive, life-giving relationships.